Hi, guys. Thanks for subscribing. If you are a subscriber, and if you're not a subscriber, I hope you'll become one soon and tell your friends. Um, I don't even know where to start. I guess we're kind of keeping a running tab, but I know I'm not going to hit all the high points here. It's alarming with Trump. I'm going to urge everybody to really, really, if you haven't held your MAGA friends and family accountable, you should. Because this is no longer politics, and they can't deny that this stuff is happening. As I said in one of my short videos, I noted that Trump has now removed from the regulations for federal contractors a 1960s law that prevents and prohibits segregation. So now federal contractors who are paid with our tax dollars can have racially segregated facilities and whatever else they want to do, I guess. This was not an accident. This was done on purpose. Trump gave a speech, an alarming speech at the Department of Justice, where he said that CNN and MSNBC should be illegal. That in his, not should be, I think he said in his mind, in his view, in his opinion, and he's not a lawyer, uh, what they do when they criticize him and report on him is illegal. And here, CNN pretty much is very, very friendly to Trump and always has been. Oh, they'll throw, a few little bit of sand on the ground to make it look like they're causing some trouble. But they've been promoting Trump since Jeff Zucker, first started referring to himself as Trump's personal booker, and is largely responsible for, is one of the people responsible for destroying our country, because he basically took Trump, one of 15 primary candidates in 2015 and 2016, and basically made him the nominee by giving him wall-to-wall coverage because they're such good friends. Because remember, when Jeff Zucker was head of entertainment at NBC, he greenlit The Apprentice for Trump. Trump was already well into money laundering for Russians because in New York, you can buy up this real estate and not even say who's buying it. So like 70% of some of Trump's unoccupied buildings were bought up by Russians. It was money laundering. Trump needed the money. He had burned through money. He's a terrible businessman, blown through his inheritance and ruined his father's company. And Russia needed to get some money out of the country fast and hide it. And so that's how they became partners. And then Trump made a lot of money that way illegally. He's a money laundering mobster. So we can't stop. We can't think of him as somebody who's going to follow the law. He's not. He's broken the law to get rich his entire life, and it works for him. And we're the ones who pay. And these are things that your MAGA friends have to know. So he's talking to DOJ about how CNN and MSNBC, in his legal opinion, which doesn't matter at all since he, is a criminal, convicted felon, and doesn't understand the law. But he knows that as president, all he has to say it, and they all get the message and they'll do it. He thinks that MSNBC and CNN are illegal, that what they do is illegal. So we know what he does to reporters. We know what he does to the media. And we know that the threat of that has the media doing his bidding. And that's always happened. And he knew that. Remember, I told you in 2015, he ordered Fox News to ban me. I'd been on, a couple thousand times, but I was criticizing him. More importantly, I was confirming an already published Washington Post piece that he had a super PAC and was not, when he said he didn't have a super PAC, he did. And I knew it because Corey Lewandowski told me all about it. So that got me kicked off Fox because he told Roger Ailes, get her off. A few months later, same thing with Jeff Zucker at CNN. So this isn't something new. Trump is very well aware that he can make the media do what he wants. And he knows that the lawyers at DOJ will implement his wishes. He fired all the ones that are actual patriots and normal people. And he's filling the joint with garbage. With, people who will just do his bidding. He likes to do that. He puts people in positions that can't get within a mile of these jobs in any other administration. The only thing doesn't matter if they're qualified or not. They just have to be loyal to him personally. He has also signaled that, yes, we know that he feels that he can deport anybody. He can just decide that somebody is a criminal and then farm out the prison sentence to a third world country, which he's already doing. Um, El Salvador, you have different countries offering, say, hey, we'll do it. You pay us. We'll take these people off your hands. And the thing is, if they're not imprisoned in the United States, we don't know what happens to them. They get disappeared. And he wants to do that, as we've discussed before, with people like Adam Schiff and Liz Cheney and you know Adam Kinzinger and a few others, probably me. I mean, he's come after me before. I remember I first got threatened by Trump and his goons in the first time it became overt. I knew, well, there was a catfishing going on before that, but when I found out about everything, it was early 2016 in February, and then they realized that I had caught on to some of them, and that's when I was told Trump has guys in Queens. Late one night, Trump has guys in Queens that might be over to your Upper West Side apartment to cause you harm. This was before we knew any of this stuff about him. I've known forever, so it is. I've mentioned this before. It's kind of a weird feeling for me, having gone through this now for a very long time with Trump and his mobsters, and knowing that Jeff Sessions, as his FBI, as his AG, just had any investigations that were going to affect Trump or his goons, just had him shut down. This was in Trump's first administration. So he couldn't be as blatant about things then. And he didn't have this government-wide loyalty thing going. He still got away with a whole lot. But now he could be blatant. And I think he's blatant on purpose because he wants everybody to get the message that he will disappear you. The closer he is to Putin, the better you better believe that. The more you better believe that. Putin has his detractors and his enemies killed, tossed out windows, poisoned. He's done this for years. He has journalists disappeared, and he will disappear them. They will be killed. They will be imprisoned. And if you don't think for a minute that this isn't what Trump has in mind, and it's shocking how many MAGA go, yeah, do it. They should be thrown in jail. They actually think this. They think that Dr. Fauci should be thrown in jail. Dr. Fauci is one of the only people who was there with us during the pandemic, each step of the way, keeping us informed, giving us advice based on science, doing their level best to keep on top of it. And Trump is responsible for untold hundreds of thousands, million deaths, preventable deaths, because he lied to us. He knew how bad it was going to be, as we know from the Bob Woodward book, and he lied. And then it became inexplicable why they didn't want to protect people. He was giving our masks and our testing kits and everything else that we needed to Putin, we find out recently, while Americans died. But I don't think it's an accident that over $200 billion was saved in Social Security because so many old people died. And I think Trump thought, yay, let's do that. And that's what's happening now. They want people to die. They want us to. The sick, the elderly, the babies that are sick and disabled. I mean, this is the strategy. So increasingly, I think Americans know you don't trust this man as a person. And even MAGA will say, well, you don't have to like him as a person, but if his policies are good, his policies are not good. He is a mobster. He is a fraud. I recently found out from a real estate agent acquaintance of mine that, because we're talking about the Washington, D.C. area, all these fired federal employees that have to sell their homes and doing it quickly because they don't have other employment options. So does that, make everything, so I guess everything is going to be cheaper to buy? Then he says, not so fast. What he's noticing is the private sector is coming in, and these are people getting DOD, like contractors that are being brought in large numbers who are buying up these homes because Trump and Elon Musk are not eliminating the work. They're just eliminating the people in those jobs. And then they are giving them to contractor friends because the work has to be done. Doge is not finding waste and fraud. They're lying about it. They're inventing it. And then they're quietly going to be bringing in these contractors to do the work, to privatizing our federal government, and Trump getting his cut like he always does. Maybe Putin gets his cut. We are being sold off in pieces. So this is something that a lot of people have predicted for a long time, but to see it actually happen in real time is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. I don't know what all these federal employees in the DC area and other places are going to do. And Trump doesn't care. And it's not that he actually hates them or anything. He just knows that it was a message of hate that works for him with his base. So that they came to hate federal employees. Trump wants to have certain people arrested if they are doing DEI. If anything that they got had anything to do with DEI guidelines. And he's also erasing our history. All references to, I don't know, Colin Powell are being removed. So, and the code whisperers. He is definitely making America white again. It is happening. I don't have an answer for all of it, but I do know that the more people that understand this, and it may just be around the margins. But remember, we've talked about this before. I think I said this in the video in the last couple of days. Unfortunately, if we have salvation, it's going to be from pissed off MAGA and Republican House and Senate members who are starting to fear their constituents who are pissed off. That's why they stopped doing their town halls. So in order for MAGA to get pissed off and understand what's really happening, maybe they only care if it happens to them. But some of these things are pretty alarming, especially the ones that consider themselves Christians. The one thing that we can do is make sure they know about it and hold them accountable. Hold them accountable. That's hard to do, I understand. But this isn't just politics. This is now Nazi Germany and all those nice white German people pretending that they don't know what's going on behind those walls, pretending that they don't know what that smell is. Well, that smell is burning flesh.